Hey, you guys, welcome back for Friday edition of Homeschool Family Bites. Tonight, we are going to be talking about dates with your spouse. So, very important topic. Actually, it's a topic that is way too often overlooked. And that's one of the reasons why we're talking about it tonight, because as I am interacting, with 365 members, with other moms, with even ladies on site at Teach Them Diligently, so often when I say something about dates with your spouse, they're like, I can't even remember the last time I took a date with my spouse. I'm like, aha, this is a problem. So we wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight. For those of you who don't know or haven't been following these Homeschool Family Bites are just little short, about 10-minute segments where we just want to talk about something practical that impacts your family.
Yeah, and they're live, and so we're taking a big risk here. I mean, anything can happen. One of the kids could come in here or whatever, and we just wanted to just come in real quick and talk about different issues. We do a different word every single day. We've committed to doing 100, and I think, what are we on, like 30?
22.
Oh, okay, 22. So we're just trying to give you guys just a little nugget of something that you can take with you that will improve your life, or maybe it'll hit at exactly the right time. Maybe the Lord has been hitting you with something, and we just kind of reinforce what the Lord's already doing.
Dates.
Yeah, so dates. So this particular one is, as you were saying, it's underestimated. It's something that people don't really talk about a whole lot. But I think it falls into one of the things that we talk about a lot in terms of presence. You build relationships by being with people, by being present with them. And we talk about that in terms of your kids. We talk about that in terms of grandparents. And I think the same thing holds true for your spouse, because the day is crazy. And I know that I get kind of frustrated when I'm talking to Leslie, and the kids are constantly wanting to talk about something else. You can see them. Yeah, they're probably going to poke in here. But they are just wanting they want your time. And so it is hard to have that personal time. And then typically you have a father that works outside of the home, and he's getting home about 5 or 6, and then you're rushing into dinner of some kind, and then it's some sort of talking to the kids and kind of tying
and then exhaustion sets in.
And then exhaustion sets in, and this is day in and day out.
Yeah, and we actually, when we were young parents, were confronted with this because a really just slightly, looking back, they were only slightly older than us, couple, we were talking to, and we were working together with the teenagers at our church. And we were talking to them, and they went out on a date every single Thursday night. They had that blocked as their time. It was a non-negotiable. And we were like, you guys are nuts. What are you doing?
They had how many kids? 5?
5 girls.
Five girls. And we at the time only had maybe two.
One, maybe two, yeah.
And so we were really young, and we were thinking, I don't know how you're going to end up doing that. I don't know. How do you get away? And they just made a point. It was a priority. And so they would end up, and we've talked about this before as well, is if you're waiting to have enough time to do priorities, you're not going to have them. And so you need to find those things that are worth just pushing everything else out of the way. And this would be one of them.
Yeah, prioritizing your relationship with your spouse absolutely has to be one of those priorities, because those kids, I can tell you from experience, grow up in the blink of an eye. There is no way that we're old enough to have 2 in college and a senior in high school and an 8th grader. It has happened so fast. But because of that, we know that we'll blink again and our 8th grader will be in college as well. And we'll be back where we started, where we're empty nesters, just the 2 of us. And if we haven't prioritized that time through the years, if we aren't flirting with one another and having fun with one another and keeping romance alive, prioritizing time with one another, then we're going to get to that point and we won't even know each other. And that's why there's such a strain on so many relationships when they get there.
You hear those stories all the time, but also, more than that, talking about the present, having a relationship with your spouse and being able to work on that relationship, it's really important to the security of the kids.
Yes.
It's important to the way they function on a daily basis, because if there's chaos and just craziness at home, it makes it harder for them to do what they need to do. It adds extra stress into the home. And so the relationship between the husband and wife is kind of the foundation for that.
Well, and even on another level with or layer with that, when your relationship with your spouse is not tended, when there is an insecurity there, when there is a rub there, there's a problem. Generally speaking, the two parties aren't going to function the right way either.
No.
So your kids are going to feel the stress that is between you. They're going to feel that even if they don't know exactly what it is. And again, it impacts everything. So for the good of your partner's heart, for the good of your children's heart, and for the good of your future, you need to truly prioritize this. Plus, I swear, you're missing out on a lot of fun if you aren't hanging out with the guy or the girl that you fell in love with in the first place.
So, just to kind of talk about this, what do you do, right? I think there is this misconception that you have to plan something elaborate, and you don't.
All of our dates are elaborate.
Sometimes it is just you grab and you go. You just take off, and you know what I mean. I mean, you just go, and we have gone up to Landrum and just kind of hung out all day before, and just said, "Hey, we're done." We've done anniversaries that way. We don't have anything planned, and we just go, "Hey, we're going out." You don't have to have anything planned. You just say, "Hey, this is a good opportunity. Let's go." I don't know how many times we have ended up at a restaurant in downtown Greenville just because it was convenient. We didn't have anything planned. It just kind of worked out.
Yeah. Now, I know there's a lot of young parents out there right now. See, we're at a stage where we can just go. And there's a magic to that. So stay tuned. It's awesome. But for those that we weren't always at that stage, and there was a time when we had to coordinate an awful lot more. So I wanted to give you some ideas of some things that we did that are really, really good ways to approach and prioritize dates. Now, first of all, I will not say that we ever followed our friends' advice and had a set date night every week. We've never been able to do that.
We haven't done that.
That's not the point of that story or what we're trying to say. But I talked to a mom not long ago, and it had been probably a year since they had had a date. So let's definitely get you in between those extremes. But one really good way to coordinate having dates is to actually get with some other couples in your church, in your neighborhood, and just swap kids. Have the conversation. They're probably hungry for date nights as well. And just make a point to every week, every 2 weeks, whatever works for your families. We'll take the kids this week. You guys go out. And then you flip-flop. Yeah, just have a reciprocal agreement like that. It's awesome. If you have parents or in-laws that are close or can come to town or whatever, extending dates, not just going out on a drive or a dinner, but extending it, taking a weekend away or something like that is so life-giving to your marriage, and your children will survive it. I promise. A lot of families are starting to discover that coming to teach them diligently as a couple is actually a phenomenal date and a great time to spend.
And we love that. We
that's
market
awesome.
it. We talk about Teach Them Diligently as being a family event, and it is. But we've noticed a trend, especially in Nashville, of mom and dad leaving the kids at home, and both of them come, and it's like a retreat for them.
Yeah, it is. It's
we
awesome.
really like that as well.
Yeah.
So,
but finding creative ways, talk to the teenage girls in your church. I can tell you, I have some of those. They are probably very willing to help you out and to serve your family in that way. So just set up an infrastructure. Older moms, I have legitimately gone to young moms in my church and said, you need to go out, bring me your kids. And our family has kept their children so that they could go out because Absolutely. I can see that they need a date. So, talk to some older moms in your church. I promise you that there are people around you who would love to help you out. And honestly, God created us to serve one another in that way. So, come up with your own creative ideas, but whatever you do, prioritize your relationship with the one that God brought into your life that started this whole thing.
What about early bedtimes?
Oh yeah, that was another thing. When the kids were young, it was great because they would go to bed at like 8 and we had the whole night.
This is the best argument on the planet for actually making sure your kids get in bed on time.
Because we took that time every night when the kids would go to bed. We were playing games. And I mean, you guys, when they were really little and there were like fabric blocks and stuff laying around our living room all the time, we would literally lay on our backs and throw foam rubber or foam
in the ceiling fan. It was
a game. The ceiling fan.
It was a game I made up.
Land it. I'm sure I beat him, but just that was a date. That was time that we were investing in each other. It doesn't have to be going out. We have always played all kinds of different games.
So
make up your own rules for them.
So 6:30 tonight. Put all the kids in bed.
That's right.
And you have a date.
Oh, we even got date boxes. We may do that. That's right. Well, now it's like teenagers are in your room until like 2 a.m. wanting to talk.
You got to leave. You have to leave your house.
That's right. At our stage, we got to go. But look into date boxes. Those are other fun resources for having a date at home. We actually got some of those to just test them out to see what they were. Cheesy as could be, but so much fun. Look into those. They're awesome. Yeah. But there are so many different ways. I would love to hear your comments below. What are some things that you've done that we could pass on? So leave us a comment, like, share.
Well, one last thing on that is that we've talked to moms before that, and even dads, that especially when they have newborns, they're just unwilling to go out. They're nervous about going out, yeah. and we kind of have to encourage them to go out with their husband just because they are just uncomfortable leaving the baby with somebody else. And
well, and there's a certain age you can't leave them for long. But anyway, you guys know the point. Your kids will be fine if you go out for a while. I promise. They will survive it. They will enjoy time with grandma or whomever. So prioritize that time. And I hope that even this weekend you will find some time to invest in your marriage. It will be absolutely well worth every second you spend on it. If you're a 365 member, I've given you lots of ideas of different creative or different gifts that we've done for each other, different date ideas. We've done all kinds of videos and stuff in there. So if you are looking for that, ping me in the app or whatever, and I'll point you in the right direction. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.